The thing, there's always when the people say, when I go into a relationship or a marriage, they're like, you put 50-50. And I don't mean that in the financial sense.
Yeah.
I mean it in the emotional sense, where like I give him 50 and then you expect him to fill your cup. But I completely disagree with that, because you need your cup to be full. You need to be 100%.
And him 100%.
Yes, and him
also.
100%, so that you can both coexist beautifully, because you're both two fully present people.
Exactly.
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to another episode of the Cultured Voices podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Fatima Mohammed, and today you guys will excuse me, but because I think I have a little bit of a flu, so you'll excuse my voice. But I am here with my girl Zeton, and today the actual topic is self-awareness, self-love, and the way we talk about ourselves and the way we feel about ourselves, and the self-awareness we have about just like in general how we define our worth, right? So I will let Zeton introduce herself. Assalamu alaikum, Zeton.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Please, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yep. So my name is Zeton, but my professional name is Zainab Abdullahi. I'm a counseling psychologist registered by the Counselors and Psychology Board of Kenya. I'm passionate about female mental health, especially helping them understand their challenges, empower them to heal, and to find happiness again. Especially if they've gone through a lot of traumas. Yeah, just to be there, just to tell them that they can get through it, and we're here, and that we love them. And also, I have gone through that, and if I've seen the other side, they can see that too.
I love that. You guys, I don't know if you remember, but when I was first starting this podcast, I talked about how I really wanted to meet like-minded people. And I think this podcast is really giving me the opportunity to do that, because not only am I meeting incredible, people, but also I can see a lot of us all have the same purpose, and that is community and what we can do for others and what impact we have. And it's just very beautiful to see. So thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
So before we start, I was actually reading this book called This Is How You Heal. And I wanted to read something that caught my eye before we actually begin. As I said, excuse my voice, guys. And it says, recognize that whatever bothers you most about other people can reveal the unconscious truth about yourself. Use this discomfort as opportunities to heal your own invisible wounds. And this is just so profound, because, a lot of the time we concentrate on what are other people doing wrong, or what are other people we always look at other people's faults, but then we forget, because, we all have different viewpoints. So I always look at myself and wonder, why is whatever that thing about that person, why is kwa nini anisumbua?
Yeah, why is it bothering
why is it bothering me?
Actually, would say the right word, trigger you.
Yes,
why
trigger.
Is it triggering
exactly.
you? Yeah, and most of the time when something is triggering you, it's we say in the unconscious mind, something happened and it made you feel a certain way. And when you see it from somebody else, it reminds you, and you cannot tap into it because you don't know. It's in your unconscious mind. So you want it to come to the subconscious and then to the consciousness, so that you understand, oh, this person, if we can give an example, the way they love themselves. So you're like, anajipenda sana, or most of the words they use is anajiringa, or full of herself. Actually, full of herself. But that person just loves themselves. But the other person sees that they just are full of themselves.
But what's the problem of being full of yourself, though?
Yeah, so the other person, the one who is triggered now, thinks that the other person is full of themselves. So you wonder, why does it even bother you if she is full of herself.
Yeah.
It's because you don't love yourself.
You are not full of
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, you don't, and it bothers you. And another person loves themselves. Now you look into what happened. Most of the time, it's triggers from the past. Maybe growing up, they were told by their mother, "Oh, when you wear that cloth, it makes you look fat." Or bona, because as a money, they would say things like, "Mbona uso wako inakaa hivyo? Unakaa kama babako." They would say things like very bad things. And then you're like, oh, my mom just thought I look like a man. You can imagine. And then now you grow up not loving yourself.
Yes,
So when you're older and then you see somebody loving themselves.
And it triggers you.
Exactly.
So what you're trying to say is that, like whenever other people and you see something in other people that you might want for yourself, that might be triggering. And it makes sense, by the way. So let's get into it, inshallah. I wanted to first begin with self-awareness or maybe even confidence. What is confidence, to you?
Yeah.
Especially, talking right now, what is confidence to you today?
Actually, confidence, I'll put it in more of like if you are self-aware and you love yourself, it comes naturally. So we would say, what is self-awareness? Is understanding yourself entirely. Like if somebody was to mention you, what would you say about yourself? What are your thoughts? What do you feel? And when you see other people, how do you behave around them? Do you notice how you feel and think and behave around people? Do you know actually who you are? So that's where it starts. So when you understand yourself better and you are able to recognize triggers, you're able to recognize when somebody is doing something that affects you, and you're able to be like, oh, let me just get myself back and understand what just happened, and then try to reason and work through that, and then you understand, oh, when this person says this and this and this, it makes me feel this way. And it's not about understanding, it's not about the other person, it's about yourself, and then now that's where you start your awareness. So whatever somebody tells you, they come and insult you, it does not affect you. That's where you build your confidence. Now you feel confident enough to create boundaries, to say no, to not people please, to feel confident in your own skin, how you look. Especially if you have a skin tone that is not popularly. People think people who have light skin are more beautiful than the ones who have dark skin. That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
But you're confident in your dark skin because you love yourself. You are aware of yourself. You're aware why you love who you are. So essence of confidence would come from you being aware, and then that's how you build your self-love also and self-respect. Yeah.
Okay, what I wanted to talk about, like, you. Are you confident? Where is your confidence coming from as Zeton?
I would say I am confident, and I built it for a while. I wasn't. I would say 5 years ago I wasn't that confident. But for myself, how I build it up is after I started healing from what happened. Let me just be as simple as possible. Growing up, I remember I was raised around boys. I don't have a sister. So when you're raised around
The
boys,
only girl.
the only girl. So when you're raised around boys, there's this way they would treat you. They are very rough, yeah. They're very rough, and they will give you they will treat you like a boy,
Yeah.
So when you grow up, you're in your marriage and all that, it's not easy because you don't know how to behave like a girl. So there's this, maybe somebody will say, kuna this expectation in marriage and everything, and you're not that because you're not used to being around women and all that. So so healing from that and loving myself and understanding who I am as a person and understanding how I think, what I love, how I feel, because our thoughts brings our feelings, and then how I behave around people, how I interact around people. That's how I build my confidence of who are essentially I am within myself. Yeah, so nobody can come and tell me anything now, because I already know I'm a good person. I know I show up for people. I know I'm confident in what I do, what I want to do in life, and all that. I don't think I would have known if I didn't heal, or I didn't go through the journey of understanding who I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very profound. I wanted to ask, like, since you said 5 years ago you were not as confident
Yeah.
as you were.
Yeah,
Can you
I
touch on
understand.
that?
Yeah, that 5 years ago is when I started my journey in being in therapy. I went to therapy because I had given birth, and that's when I knew I had postpartum depression after giving birth. It wasn't easy, the hormones and all that. So while I got into therapy to work on myself and just, feel confident again, I found psychology. And that's when I went and just dived into understanding what psychology is and this journey of helping other people. So I feel like the more I did the work inward, and then I went and learned all these things about mental health, the more I built myself and my confidence grew.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so.
And weirdly, I was an accountant. I would say I did CPA. And I started before I got married, I was doing clearing and forwarding. So it was such a different thing, and
Direction.
yeah, and
Wow.
I had started doing BCom. You can imagine that life, and then all of a sudden you are now doing psychology. It's
Psychology.
such a different world.
So it is primarily postpartum depression that made you want to
Yes,
pursue
yes,
psychology.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Because I was trying to just get out of my home, like the just not seeing anybody. When you give birth, you're only seeing your child,
Yeah.
and everything is around a kid. Yeah, and then
You
the
wanted to get
hormones.
out of that
Yeah, I
environment.
just wanted at least go and mingle with other people, go outside, talk to somebody. Yeah, which helped me a lot. Yeah,
For
and
those of us who don't know much about postpartum depression, can you touch on that a little bit and just tell
yeah.
us, how did you even know that what you were suffering from was actually postpartum depression?
At that time, I didn't. I wasn't aware of that. But with my first, my first baby, I cried a lot. I was after giving birth. When I was alone, I would cry. Yeah. So that was how I at that time I didn't know actually with my first baby, but I think I just researched a little and then left it, and then I went to one counseling session, and then it wasn't all that at that time. It didn't work. At that time, I just found makeup. I think most people know me. I used to be a makeup artist. So I found my love for makeup and I went into makeup. So I think I forgot whatever was happening to me because of makeup. I found something to get me out.
Busy.
So I was
Something was
unconsciously
getting.
healing myself with makeup and I didn't know. And then with my second baby, that's when it kind of happened again. I was isolating myself. So in depression, there are things that you see, but mine, it wasn't until that deep depression. It was more of like I would cry and then isolate. I didn't want anybody touching my baby. I wanted to be the one to feed, clean, do everything for my kid. I didn't want anybody even touching. That is not normal. It's not normal for you not to want help.
Yeah.
So I didn't want help, and it was very overwhelming. So that's how I realized that something wasn't right. And also my gynecologist was amazing to me. So she told me, she was there supporting me throughout my pregnancy. She's called Nelly Bosire. Just to shout out, she's my really good friend. So that's how I found therapy, because she used to talk to me a lot. And then now I started going to therapy, and that's how I just healed. But it's signs of depression is isolation, crying, feeling low mood. Tena if it prolongs more than 2 weeks,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and not sleeping. I wasn't sleeping I will just be awake most of the time. And yeah, that's what actually happened. And then I found psychology.
So,
Imagine.
so what about like you joining therapy is what
Yeah.
made you want to
Me going through
pursue?
that, no, me going through that postpartum
Yes.
is what made me want to go into psychology and me wanting to help other women, because I know what happened, and I know at what point in life I was that time, and I'm like, if I got out of it, any woman can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
it's yeah.
that's amazing because a lot of the time, you know, like when especially as moms, I feel like we become so selfless to a point where we always what's the word I'm looking for? We always like you
Kill
know
ourselves.
all we do is just take care of the child
Yes.
and what the child needs,
Yeah.
and everything about your life surrounds
It's
that.
true.
And I love that you actually found something that interested you, even on the first
Yeah.
baby, as you said. You
Yeah.
found
Makeup.
like you know makeup, and that
Yeah.
is what made you like you know
Get out of it. Yeah.
yeah, so it's very
Yeah.
beautiful to see. That's why, and I always tell like you know moms to always do what you enjoy, even when you're on postpartum, because postpartum doesn't mean just staying in your house and
Yeah.
breastfeeding the child and putting them to bed and that is all that you do.
Yeah.
You still don't forget yourself, because if you do forget yourself, at the end of the day you lose that identity, you know.
Yeah.
Also, mashallah. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, as women, why is it important for us to be self-aware,
Yeah.
and why should we actually prioritize that? Because I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's very important for us women, especially as Somali women. I feel like growing up, we were taught how to just take care of everybody, just as you said.
yeah,
We are the one who everything for the husband. Our husband, we
we take
take
care of the kids, we take care
everything,
of the
the
siblings.
kids, we care about our parents. I think most of us women, more than, I don't know, the men also do that, but there's that connection we have with our parents. So even if we are married, we always make sure that, okay,
Our
what's
parents are
happening
okay.
at home also. So you can imagine we are always around other people and thinking about other people. And if somebody was to ask you, if they came to you and they ask you, me, I'm feeling so bad and I'm feeling all this, you'll be there helping them. But you feel bad when you do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you feel bad when you take a minute to just take care of yourself.
yeah,
So that's why it's very important for somebody to just take a minute and just walk through what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and how they are acting. Because most of the time, when our thoughts are negative, we're just thinking about, okay, I'm not good enough, I'm not. Negative is it's just broad, like whatever you're beating yourself up.
yeah.
Am I being the best mother? Am I being the best wife? Am I doing this the right way? But why are you not asking yourself, how can I show up for myself? What do I actually need? Do I need a break? Can I even take a break? Most of them, they don't even, most of us actually don't take breaks. We are
Do you think it's
always
because the standard, like, you know, the standards that
expectation.
and expectations that the community has for us and even our own families has for us is
Yeah.
so big that we don't even give ourselves like even
Yeah.
time to rest?
Yeah, the culture is that way. The culture has made women do all these things. We are just, and then our men will just come and just chill. So, but when we look at the root of our deen, is it that way?
No.
What did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam do for the wives? She took care of she used to sweep. He used to sweep.
Yeah.
And would take care of his
House.
house. And actually, there was a time when he was helping her own daughter cook. You know, there are these many beautiful things that we used to hear. So it's okay to get help, Kwanzaa,
Yeah.
for us. And then it's okay to take breaks. It is okay to just take care of yourself. You're not being selfish. You know, there's this understanding of self-love, it means being selfish. So why is it looked at as you being able to just take a break, just go to therapy, or go to spa, go take care of your hair.
Or just go take a
Yeah,
walk.
take a walk.
You know, get 5 minutes to just
Exactly.
be on
Why
your
is
own.
it selfish to do that? Where is it even coming from?
Yeah.
So you see, it's rooted from our own cultures.
Yeah.
That's what they believed. But now we are in the present time. That has, unaona, our wazazi wetu,
Yeah.
they went through so much because they didn't understand that. But alhamdulillah, right now kuna a lot of information online. There is reason why you should take care of yourself. You understand, when you take care of yourself, actually you are becoming the best parent to your kids.
When you actually take care of yourself.
Exactly. You need to fill your own cup so that you can be able to take care of your kids. Actually, you'll be acting from a point of
Abundance.
Exactly. Also, you won't have resentment. So most of us, we end up resenting our husbands, we resent our kids, we are shouting at them because we are overwhelmed. So obviously you'll feel a point where umechoka. Yeah, it's not normal. It's not normal for you to always do all those things all the time.
That is so true.
You need a break. Then you take care of yourself. And especially if you understand you being okay is being the best thing for your kids.
Yeah.
You would do that, right?
Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
take care of yourself. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you mentioned so many things that I would love to touch on, because you know the way a lot of like, you know, our Somali community, and especially the Somali men, they always say how come every time I go home, my wife is just angry and she's just, you know, like she's not welcoming me in the most, you know, like beautiful way.
Yeah.
But I think also men need to think about, why is that? Like, is this woman, or is this, like, you know, your wife, is she overwhelmed? Is she not happy? Is she going through maybe something that maybe you need to, is it like, you know, like her trying to show you what is alarming her? You know, I think a lot of the time I don't really want to use this, like, you know, but I feel so sad when people look at women and they think of them as superwomen, and they can do everything and they need to do everything, and why are they feeling frustrated, right? Because they have so many responsibilities. And I always advise women, like, don't put, you know, like weight hevier than you're supposed to carry on yourself. Like, get help, pay for help. You know, like get that nanny, get that house help. Nobody asked you to do everything, because when you do, as you said, like, there's that resentment. Even when kids grow up, I'm sure you've heard a lot of like, you know, our parents saying, you know, I sacrificed a lot for you. I have done so much for you. And like, you know, I have sacrificed my entire life, and look at me, like, what have I done for myself? I've done everything for you. Kids don't want to hear that. You know, we don't want to hear that. And even kids, we don't want our kids to end up saying that about us. So don't sacrifice yourself. I feel like self-sacrificing is ridiculous in so many ways. Even with your marriage, don't self-sacrifice yourself. Find a way where you can negotiate and have your way, but also be kind, and, you know, like give a hand to the other person as well, so that they can thrive, but you also thrive. Because if not, you'll end up resenting your husbands as well. You'll end up resenting your kids. What do you think of that?
I love, there's something that you said about the resentment and the man coming to the house and finding that the wife is very mad, overwhelmed, and all that. And I'm like, for the wife to understand, her happiness actually would never come from the wife, from the husband. And they need to understand that their own happiness and their wellness has to be a job that they do for themselves. Because when I don't know if you've noticed, but most of our men, they would take care of themselves.
They do.
They go to, you know, those coffee houses. They just take a break. They are like, uko nyumbani ni tafash. What do I do? So they do take care of themselves. But why would a woman wait on the husband to take care of her? Her well-being, to love herself. I feel like that's a personal job. And I know I look weird and I look like, oh, why am I saying it that way? But from a lot of research and all these things, we cannot. You would never find that happiness if you're waiting for you to get it from any person, even your own kids. That's why they end up now saying, I did everything for that child, and this is how you repay me. I sacrificed my whole life.
They didn't ask for it.
They didn't.
They didn't ask
They
for
just
you to do
wanted
that.
their mother. And naturally, a mother, what does a mother do? Give all that love and all. Yeah. But I have this understanding that Allah kind of punishes you with the thing that you put above Him. And our bodies were given to us as an amana. So we were told what to take care of that body. So it means our brain, it means our heart, it means every part of our body. It is our responsibility from Allah to take care of. So when you put anybody above God, Allah will definitely, So it's supposed to be Allah first, and then you come next. Not your kids, not your husband, not anybody else, not your own mother. You come second after that to take care of yourself, so that you're fully you feel full within yourself. Your world, your inner world is already good. And then now you pour all that to the kids. You pour all that to your husband. You pour all that, because now there is no resentment. There won't be any overwhelmness. And then now you understand what is this thing in your home area that is weighing you down. Work on those things slowly. And then, but you have to feed on yourself. You have to make sure that you're feeding yourself with the right thing, and then the right environment, and understand it is your responsibility. Don't wait for anybody to do that. Actually, nobody's going to come and save you, unfortunately.
No, actually, it's not unfortunately, because I think it's very, very unfair for us to put the responsibility of our own happiness onto somebody else. I think it's very, very unfair to the other person, because
you're blaming.
It's like, why would you put that responsibility on someone else? Your happiness is your responsibility. Your joy is your responsibility. So I think as women, we always forget that. Even when it comes to, body image and weight, and inshallah we'll get to that. But a lot of the things that we do, we always project to other people and outside things, instead of actually looking inward and asking ourselves, what have I done for me to feel content? What have I done to feel confident? What have I done for me to feel loved and appreciated? Because feeling loved and appreciated needs to come from you first. And then when you feel that love, and then the other it will be natural for the other person to give it to you as well.
It will. And actually it becomes easier for the other person to give it to you, because they don't have to work extra hard to make you feel like, okay, now you know how women, we ask our men, am I beautiful? Do I look fat? Do I look like this? No. They don't have to now come in and now, start working on making you feel confident. Now they're starting to be responsible for all these other things. It's easier when you already love yourself and you know how to take care of yourself. So the rest of it's just now bliss. Kind of, it's more blissful when now they only you guys can coexist. You can do what the two of you love doing. Go. If you both of you love taking time out and just going for a vacation together, without now that baggage of other things that he has to manage for you. You're seeing how it would be even easier for relationship to prosper.
It really is, because the thing, there's always when people say, when I go into a relationship or a marriage, they're like, you put 50-50, and I don't mean that in the financial sense. I mean it in the emotional sense, where like I give him 50 and then you expect him to fill your cup. But I completely disagree with that, because you need your cup to be full. You need to be 100%.
And him 100%.
Yes, also. And him 100%, so that you can both coexist beautifully, because you're both two fully present people.
Exactly.
And also, I liked what you talked about, because when only that you're both full is when you start realizing, then I can give this to this person.
Yeah.
And this is what I will also receive.
So that we call that love language. Now you act from your love language.
Yes.
What you love
Yes.
and what he loves is so different. So
True.
how would he show up for you with what you love, and how do you show, even if you don't like it,
Yes.
show up for him? So that now that becomes a different issue than now having to manage, or you managing him with like he's already feeling insecure and all these things, fearful, and then now you're managing him also. You're managing his feelings.
Imagine if we had husbands and they were always like, hi baby, do I look good today? Do you think I
Actually,
work
but
hard enough?
I think they
Do you
have their
think-"
own ways
they
of
do,
asking.
They do have it. But
Yeah.
imagine, like I want us to, like, like, what is it called? Put ourselves in the other shoe. Imagine if you had a spouse and every day they're asking you, do you think I work hard enough? Do you think
Yeah.
I'm beautiful enough?
Yes.
Please, like, tell me how great I am
Yes.
so that you can feel
Imagine.
great. Like, that would be annoying. Not only
is.
annoying, but it would be like you would feel pity for that other person. That respect and that worth will reduce, because now you're always the one have to feel that other person,
Yeah.
when instead it's supposed to be them who fill themselves up.
Exactly.
And they're like, okay, now you even even your body language changes when
Yeah.
you have that self-worth and you know what you are
Exactly.
about.
Especially if you, in my Instagram stories, I just love just telling them how just to love themselves. I would go to the gym and I'm like, I'm here just to remind you to love yourself. I keep saying that so much because I've seen how that works. When you wake up in the morning and you take care of yourself first, you're like just telling yourself, go to the mirror and say how beautiful you are. Already your day starts well.
Yeah.
You're like,
Or you just smile
yes,
at yourself
you're
in the
smiling
mirror.
and you're like just looking at everything that God has given you that is so beautiful. And then now you're thinking, okay, now this is it. What am I capable of doing? When you look in the mirror, you're like, me, I know I'm smart. Even if you don't believe it, usually nasemanga, sema tu, hata kama unajidanganya, sema, lakini those positive affirmation. Say you're smart, say you're brave, say you're going to achieve this, say you're going to be a millionaire, say all these things to yourself in the morning before, and then
Affirm
you
yourself.
start the day. That is how you're creating that. So by the time, even if somebody comes and annoys you, you're just like, hey, huyu sasa amekuja na zimetoka wapi?
this
It's not,
confidence.
this is his issue or their issue. It's not about you.
It really
You're
is
getting,
not.
yeah.
And the thing is with confidence is that I want people to realize that confidence is not something you're born with. It's not a talent you're born with. It's a muscle you need to build slowly and show. Like every day, it's something that you need to practice. And it's not something like, oh yeah, that person is confident and they're always confident. And that's the way it is. Life happens, some things happen and you might lose that confidence somehow. But then you need to rework and work on how to get that back.
Yeah. And if I can share, is one way of doing that, like building that confidence, is having journaling. I've noticed when you journal your thoughts, one thing, I love something called cognitive behavior therapy. I really gravitate towards that because we work on our thoughts, because our thought is everything. So when I would give an assignment to my client where we change how we are thinking of ourselves. So when tuseme you're maybe washing the dishes.
Yes.
You're thinking. You're not thinking when you're washing the dishes. You're not thinking about that cup.
Dishes, yeah.
Or the nini. You're thinking, okay, nikitoka hapa, what am I gonna do? Or I have this assignment. But after that saying, I have this assignment, and then you say, your assignment ni hard. Me hata sikuelewa, nini. You see how many things you've said to yourself.
That is
They're
negative.
very negative. So I try to make somebody just see what they're thinking, because that's where everything is. And then you go journal. You just write your thoughts. And then now, the more you keep journaling and writing those thoughts and seeing them in your eyes, you see how bad you are thinking all the time. You're thinking about, if you called your husband, another thing that is very major. When you're calling your husband and they don't pick up, the first thing you're like, Ako?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Always bad thoughts.
What is he doing? And then what will happen when you're thinking that? You're already creating so many imaginary
Scenarios.
things in your mind. You go, because in that journal, you go write that thing in that journal of what you were trying to think badly, which is not true. You're telling your mind.
And that is a way of like even self-reflecting, because once
Yes.
you start noticing
Exactly. Now when you journal and see how bad you've been thinking, now you change those thoughts to positive ones, and you understand that not everybody is doing things to harm you, or you're not that bad actually. If you are thinking you're stupid or you're not good enough, go change it. Just write, I'm good, and you keep telling yourself over and over and over again. So that's how you try to change. That's how you build actually your confidence, because you're trying to change those thoughts. Now what we do, what the theory says, when your thoughts really after thinking, you feel. There's no way you will feel before thoughts.
Thoughts come first.
Yes, you think and then you feel. And then if you went and now you were washing the dishes and you thought how it was very hard for you to do that task, and how you're not good enough and you're not brave enough, you'll start feeling bad, and you'll feel like your heart will sink, and you will just feel horrible. Let me ask you, would you be able to act? Like what is the action after that? If you've been thinking bad, and then now you feel bad, would you go and do that assignment?
No. Because you've already given up.
So now the end behavior of whatever you want to achieve
cannot be positive.
Exactly. You won't even be able to achieve anything, because you're thinking all these other things that are not positive. So if you want to be like rich and do amazing things, like finish your degree, do PhD, or create this business, what are thoughts around that business you want to do? What are thoughts about, maybe you want to lose the weight? What are your thoughts around how you're going to lose the weight? If you think you're capable, you're able, you are like you can do it, imagine you'll go to the gym and you'll perform. True. That's now the action of doing what you need to do. Thought. Yes. But if you think you're incapable, it's hard, you're not able to, you'll just be stuck. You'll be stuck in that cycle of you keep doing the same things and the same behavior and the same outcome. So it's our thoughts and then how we feel about things. So if you feel you're capable, you get so excited and so happy, and then you'll do the action.
I wanted to, the other day when we were talking, there's something that you mentioned about when you first started working out, and how your instructor was telling you, like that thing you were telling me about the mirror, and how you were looking at yourself, and your instructor asked you, what are the things you hate?
Okay, it was a therapist.
Oh, it was a therapist. Can you please share that?
I
think that's so profound.
It's called the Johari Window, like where you look into.
It's called what?
Johari Window.
Johari Window.
Where you how you look at yourself, how others view you.
Yes.
What you think other people view you, and actually what is true. So for me, that one was, I had very low self-esteem at that point in my life. And she told me, just go and just stand in the mirror and just tell me what you hate about yourself and what you love about yourself. And I discovered so much. I would nitpick. I hate this. I look this way. I was saying everything negative. And she was asking me, what is that positive thing? What is that good thing you have? I said my eyes. And then now I didn't even notice that I never even look into, when I look in the mirror, I never usually notice it. So the more now I started noticing, I nitpick kwanza, and I changed that with saying positive things about myself. So when I go to the mirror, I'll say, I have very beautiful eyes, I have very beautiful nose, I love how I look. The more I do that, I love my hair, I love all those things. So the more I got very obsessed with myself. And in a different way, it can look like you're very full of yourself, what you had just said. But it's not. It's just saying you're capable, you love yourself, and you see, envision good things for yourself, and you see your capability and your strength. And that's how, by the way, you see your strength.
I love it.
And you see who you actually are.
If you guys are listening to this, please go ahead and actually try to practice this. Go to a mirror, look at yourself, and ask yourself, what do I hate and what do I love? And obviously, like, as humans, we always look at all the things that we hate, and that's so natural. But I want you to concentrate on what do you actually love. And let's just repeat that on a daily thing. And I hope that, like that will make a change in somebody's life, inshallah. Because that's so beautiful, I think. One question that I wanted to ask is, I wanted to go into a little bit, like, on the self-love. How can self-love coexist with humility, faith, and service to others? Because I think a lot of the time people confuse self-love with selfishness. And they think, oh, you, as you said before, you're so full of yourself. You love yourself like you don't even see other people. And sometimes, sadly, that it does go to that extent. That some people go a bit too much, that they like to even segregate themselves from others. And they do like self-love to a point where it can actually be a little bit unhealthy. So how can someone like balance that self-love with, like humility and faith?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
But when you're saying that, I'm really, I think I'm analyzing it in my head. For the person who goes way ahead and start being a bit arrogant, I feel like it's not just self-love.
Yeah.
I feel like it has other things. Maybe they have narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah.
They have that grandiosity mindset, which is not actually self-love.
Yeah.
I would go back to what Allah has in Ali tupatia our bodies, our
As
heart, and amana. When we look at it in that way, it is our responsibility to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And also when you look it like filling your cup, does that look like
Arrogance.
arrogance, or
Absolutely.
would that look like somebody goes beyond when you're just taking care of yourself? It is as simple as just taking care of your heart, taking care of your mind, taking care of your body, because this is what fills you up so that you show up better for other people. So when you view it in that sense, it does not look selfish. But our culture, we go back to our culture because that is the root cause of most of these thoughts. Because when you do that for another person who doesn't know how to do that, they look at you like you're being very offish. Or because when you love yourself, you learn how to create boundaries. So these boundaries, sometimes people go to the extremes. They don't know how to create boundaries. So creating boundaries, when somebody comes at you and tells you, I would say they overstep, maybe with how you're handling situation in your own house, they overstep, but you're like, okay, there's this way you handle it, and you just don't want to do it
Their way.
his or their way. You doing that, does that look like you're being mean or you're, but for them they will view it that way,
Yeah.
But you've just now said, okay, there's the way me I want to do stuff, and there's a way you want to do stuff.
Yeah.
That is creating a boundary.
Yeah.
But you still can coexist and have a relationship with everybody, but you've just chosen yourself because this thing will harm you.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
But from the other side, it might look like you're being selfish, or you've drifted yourself from the community. But it's not that. Maybe sometimes it's just that is the safer thing for that person. But at the same time, we know in our deen that we cannot cut ties.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to cut ties.
Yeah.
That does not mean you taking care of yourself. Now, all of a sudden, you do not talk to your mother, you don't talk to your brother. That is haram. It's
Yeah.
not allowed.
Yeah.
But taking care of yourself is you being able to take fill your cup, and also be able to be okay within yourself to give much more to the rest, to your family.
Yeah.
But cutting out what harms you. What about them? Like if your mother shouts at you or anakutukana. So how do you say no? Don't tukana me.
With
That is love.
respectfully.
Yes. Now, mom, this makes me feel this way. Akikutukana amka toka to. It looks like you're being rude, but you removed, when you do that a couple of times and going to another room when somebody insults you, it's a
They
way
will
of,
also understand what
they would be
yeah.
like, every time I
Okay.
say
Yeah.
I insult
They will
her,
self-reflect.
she's like, okay, she gets out. So if I want her to stay in that room, what will she do?
Yeah.
She will make sure that she does
don't
not insult
insult.
you. So that is now self-love. You've loved yourself enough not to put yourself in a harmful situation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, does that even look selfish when you do that?
No.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a perception.
yeah. I think the two can coexist, where
Yes.
you can love yourself and have boundaries
Exactly.
and have that self-respect,
And also be
but
in a
also
community.
yes, but also have be able to tell other people kindly, and I feel like that can coexist
Yes.
without you being like, oh, this person does not listen to me, or they're not respecting my boundaries, and that doesn't mean you cut them off.
And
You know.
and I would just wanted to share, if somebody goes beyond arrogant, I feel like it is not self-love. That is another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted us to talk about is our beauty standards, because you know the way, because you know that also really touches on self love and you know, like self awareness. Because at the end of the day, what other people think does affect us one way or another. So this thing where like, especially even in social media right now, where everybody compares themselves with other people, and there's that unhealthy comparison where you're like, oh, but that person, maybe I don't look like everyone else. Maybe my weight is like, you know, all my body structure or my body type is not accepted, you know, in the community. So, first of all, what would you say about that? And is that something that you've ever been through, or you've experienced?
Yeah, I think most definitely all of us, we've experienced such things growing up. Especially for me, it was, I think, the weight. Because growing up, our parents, they don't want us to look a certain way. It scares them. They feel like, oh, you don't get a husband because that you gain a bit of weight. You know, that thought.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you kind of, it makes you feel a bit insecure.
That is
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of us really relate to that, because a lot of us have heard like, you've gained so much weight, will your husband want to stay?
Exactly.
Like, you've gained so much weight, like, will you actually find a husband? And subhanallah, those things are so horrible to say to someone, you know.
Yeah, so and you can imagine in our Somali culture, growing up, they think when you're mweupe, light skin, though you're beautiful. So what do? See, they sell these creams.
Yeah, and that's why, by the way, I hate that word adi.
Yeah,
I hate that word adi so much, because they don't say it in a negative manner, but they call everybody like Halim adi, Fadum adi, but why are you putting that word, making like it's a way you're complimenting, but is it really a compliment? You know,
it's just you know, Allah created
you're
us.
putting standards.
Yeah.
You're saying that adi is what is beautiful.
And let me ask you, are you saying what Allah did to create us is wrong?
Subhanallah.
That's what I don't get. I try to even question somebody. You feeling this color is wrong. I didn't create myself.
Yeah.
Allah created me. So do you think Allah is wrong to do that? He isn't, isn't he?
No.
Yeah. So now so imagine the community where we grew up. It is that's what they thought. But you had said we care about some people maybe care about what people think about them with the color they have, ama the weight, what people say about them.
Yes.
And it just reminded my brother, I usually say, what people think about me is none of my business.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, that is my philosophy too. What other people think about me, it is none of my business actually. Because if I care about what they're thinking about me, it means I think negatively about myself. I already think they think all these negative things, but I don't. I think positive things about myself. So if you know your people pleasing and all those things, is you care so much about how people view you. So I feel like somebody should work on themselves so much, because you're not supposed to care.
Yeah, you aren't.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's natural. It's also natural for us to care, but the thing that differentiates the people is how does that affect you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true, but you said it's natural.
Yeah.
So where does it come from? Because it's not natural to me. It's not natural to me to care about what somebody thinks about me. Because I grew up where I was raised with boys.
Yeah.
So we didn't care about what other people think or feel. We care not to hurt people. I care not to harm you. But even if you come and say, unakaa sijui pig,
Yeah.
I've had worse. One of my brothers used to say, umeokotoka mtaro. So you can imagine growing up with boys. It's like
it makes you resilient.
Very resilient.
Yeah.
So it's where you came from,
Yeah.
as in how you grew up. So you go back to trauma and how you were raised for you to care so much about other people. So what about those people that makes you feel confident? Why do you care what they think? You're getting. So there is work there to be done.
And do you think self-talk, like, positive self-talk, can change that?
Yeah, obviously, because the more you talk positive about yourself, it's goes back to that journaling and talking how you view yourself. The more you talk positive, the more you care about yourself. Even if somebody comes and think you're all these bad things. Have you ever seen, I just remembered, have you ever seen somebody who is ako weighty but very confident?
I love that.
Yeah.
There's nothing I love more.
Do you think that person cares?
Honestly, for me, I think the caring is always there.
Yeah.
But it always just depends on how far are you going to take that.
Yeah.
Because, there are some people who, when they say some things, I feel like the caring is always there. But it all just depends on who is saying those things. And should what they say matter to you.
And actually, for them also not to care is because of what now that internal self-talk. What they tell themselves. When they go to that mirror, they love themselves. They see how beautiful they are. And they love themselves. That whatever you come and tell them is like, that's a you problem. That is not my problem.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how much they've worked on themselves.
Yeah. What I wanted, because, we, sadly, time is not on our side and we need to wrap this up. I wanted to ask you, what small steps can somebody take every day to build a more loving relationship with themselves?
Can I share with what worked for me and what I would recommend?
Yes.
Yeah, so for me, as I mentioned, actually the journaling. For somebody who has very deep-rooted traumas and maybe they've gone through bad childhood traumas, as much as they are working on themselves by themselves, it is very hard for them to understand all these things because they don't have the psychological terms and they don't understand all these things. And merging what happened and the present is very hard, is seeking therapy. Because I went for therapy for, I think, 4 years while I was still studying because I did not want to harm another person. That was my biggest fear. Like for me to project whatever I am going through on my client. So I worked on that. So if it's very deep-rooted, see a therapist, work with somebody, because as much as you read all these things, because the information is wide, everything that I'm saying is on the internet already.
But sometimes you just don't know what to do with them.
But they don't know, it's the intellectual part and the emotional part, they don't know how to merge the two. So you need somebody to help you merge what you're feeling and what happened and actually just to understand what is actually happened, to merge the two. I would suggest them to go to therapy. But if when you are at home, journaling and self-talk, the way you had just said, what you say to yourself, and seeing kama you have triggers. Always journal your triggers. If somebody annoys you and it's just this, I know when she hears this, she would laugh because it's her. We went to a gym and just the instructor annoyed her, but the instructor did not annoy me. So I was wondering why
did you get triggered?
Why did you get triggered? Because it's the way that lady talked. Yeah. So it was triggering. So she had to understand why is that trigger affecting you. So now writing your triggers and now being curious also. Curiosity helps you. Curiosity actually helps you with your self-awareness more. Because now you get into tapping your thoughts and who are you actually? Asking those questions.
Tough questions.
Yeah, that is a very tough
question.
one. Kwanza ukiambianga mtu
and what are your values, what are your principles,
Yeah.
who are you, like
Who
what
are
is
you?
your character, what is your personality
Yeah.
like, and just thinking about that is a beautiful way to just end up shaping who you want to be as well.
And actually, when you understand who you are, you know your purpose in life.
Yeah.
You know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
If you don't know who you are, you're just walking in life just aimlessly. You don't know what is your purpose. You don't know what you're good at. You won't know what kind of a future do you want. So your future is inakuwa like what your husband atakupelekaje, or what your kids
or whatever people are saying, and you just
then
move
now
with
you're in your old age and you're miserable because
you've never done something that is actually important
you don't
to you.
even know yourself.
Okay, so the last question is, if there's one thing you wish Muslim or Somali women knew about self-awareness or self-love, what would that be?
That is a tough one. Yeah. I would say for a Somali, that you don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to do everything, and that it's okay not to be okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's okay not to be okay. You don't. There's no. When things are chaotic, we feel like we have to be perfect. We have to be there for everybody. We can take time off and just not be okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just take care of yourself. Go to that spa, do your hair, go take care of yourself. Just, if you want to cry, please cry. Why you know how we are so strong.
Yeah.
Somali women, we are just viewed as very strong. Just cry. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to see somebody, go hang out with your friends. Have that bestie that you go out, have coffee with. Please do.
Right.
That's what I will tell a Somali girl.
For me, what I would say is, I would tell any woman who's listening to this is, do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, kids will grow. A man will either stay or go. But you are the one who will stay with yourself. And, you'll be the one who will always, you are with yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that doesn't just come from self-love, but it also comes from self-awareness. Who are you? As we said before, look deep within yourself. Ask yourself the tough questions. Who am I? What do I like? What don't I like?
Yeah.
What is my character? What are the things that I don't like about myself? And if those things are actually not good for you, then go ahead and change them. If you have positive things that you like about yourself, amplify that.
Yeah.
So I would say just really look deep within yourself and ask yourself those tough questions, because they're not easy. They're not easy. But that is the path for you to excel.
Actually, I would even say be curious. Be curious with yourself.
Yes.
And let me tell you, when you're that curious with yourself, utakuwa na time to judge hivi vitu ndogo ndogo.
Yeah.
And you'll,
True.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, self-love doesn't mean that you will not find fault in yourself. We all do. And we're just a work in progress. But at the end of the day, you need to also take that 1 minute and just be grateful. That's why I love, by the way, journaling is such an incredible thing, because not only does it help with self-love, self-awareness, reflection on who you are and what you actually prefer and your thoughts, it can also help you be grateful for what you have, because a lot of the time we always look at things negatively and we always go chasing what we don't have, but you won't get anything until you actually look deep within and you realize what am I grateful for? Because, you look at your health, you're like, Alhamdulillah, I'm healthy. Alhamdulillah, I am sane. Alhamdulillah, I have a family. Alhamdulillah, I am a beautiful woman. Alhamdulillah, you're alive. A lot of things that a lot of other people can't say that they have.
And I've noticed the more you love yourself, things just look full. They look whole.
True.
They just look good.
Yeah.
Even when you're living in still as more rich.
Yeah.
Richness is not important when you have you.
Thank you so much for this conversation, Zeton. Honestly, this conversation really made me even look deep within. I don't know if you feel how calm
Yeah.
we are even while talking about this.
That is what I like. I told you,
Yeah.
like that's what I would want if somebody's around me to feel calm
I love it
and
because
to
it
love
just
themselves.
yeah, it just made me feel very like in tune. So thank you so much for this.
You're
I hope
welcome.
that inshallah we'll have more conversations about this topic because I feel like there's a lot that we can discuss about it. And well, Zaytun is a therapist, is a counselor. So if you guys, inshallah, I'll let you tell us where we can find you and your
Yeah.
services.
Yeah. If you want a physical session, I'm at West Park Hospital, South Sea, and we also do a virtual session. And you can follow me in Z Mental Wellness on Instagram or Zainab Abdullahi also on Instagram. That's where you'll find me. You'll know everything about me, and even if you need a session, that's where you'll get my contact also. I think, and you might
Yes,
share my
inshallah.
contact.
I will put,
Yeah.
I will share the info and I'll share her pages on the description box. So
Yeah.
if you guys need her, even by the way, even just by being in your Instagram, there's so much beautiful things that you can actually learn from there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So please go ahead and follow her and also follow me on Instagram. My username is there Fatima Edit, and you can also follow the Instagram page for the podcast, which is the Cultured Voices podcast. And if you guys have any question or is there's anything that you took from this conversation, let me know in the comment section, and please subscribe because really that helps me, like push this podcast forward, inshallah. Thank you so much for being here and thank you for staying until the end. Until next time, assalamu alaikum.